All right, this is me, Gav. This is Rane's ex-agent, still employed. Rane is in the team. Who is more lucky, Hasib Hamid, who doesn't have balls, or Ajinkya Rahane, who has no technique, who has no future? The only reason this guy is there is because Pujara and Kohli cannot buy a fucking run. And today, Pujara got out on golden duck. Now,
Yeah.
something has to change. We can't keep giving people chances just because of their name tags, what they've done 2 years ago, what they've done 6 months ago, what they've done. The reality is Virat Kohli has not scored a century, international century in 2 years. He has looked good, but he hasn't looked the Virat Kohli of the old, who was outstandingly the best player ever. Joe Root, as much as a shit captain Joe Root is, as much as his entire team is full of shit, as much as he cannot score a century in Australia in 5 fucking tours, or probably never ever will, he still like looks sublime. And he scored what, almost 1700 runs. He might even end up breaking the
Yeah.
greatest record of the greatest person who changed his name also, and attributed his record to changing his name from Yusuf Yahana to whatever the fuck he was changed to, Muhammad Yusuf.
Mohammad
And
Yusuf.
then
Yeah.
after that, also because did he attribute after that just losing all the fitness as well to changing a religion as well? Because after that he probably did not do anything, because he was probably waking up at 3 a.m. to do the take the Lord's name, and probably eating a lot of parathas. Okay, on that, let's start with Ashes. Today was the third test. This is the big test. Everybody's talking about Omicron, but I saw stadium was pretty much full. And this is Australia,
Yeah.
like the strongest of all the countries. People are drinking beer, throwing beer on each other. Australia won the toss again. Cummins was back. They have so many bowlers, so they literally have like no Hazelwood. Then they're dropping people. Like Richardson took 5 for. He's like dropped. Just take rest. Okay, Nisa, old amazingly, you're also out. Then they got this Boland guy. He's 32 years old and he's debuted today. First match in his history, because horses for courses. Boland is from Melbourne. His record at MCG is amazing. And talking about MCG Boxing Day test, I think the way 22nd 6 has been planned out is amazing. 5 o'clock from the morning, if you want to wake up early, watch till
Yeah.
1 o'clock, Australia versus England, or more England's Ashes, and then take a half an hour break, probably go, eat something, come back, and India starts playing South Africa. What has happened to these goddamn pitches? We'll come back to that, but tell me Hasib Hamid's selection over Joe Burns. His name is Joe Burns, right? No, his name is no, Rory Burns. Sorry, Joe Burns is
Rory
the
Burns. Yeah.
Australian
Sorry.
opener who is no longer Australian opener. All the Burns are getting burnt and kicked out. When there were everybody was all the openers were Burns. Now all the Burns have been burned. Can you please explain? You already know my view on this thing. I've already said this. Hasib Hamid in a team of England where hardly anybody has any balls except Ben Stokes, Joe Root, Jimmy Anderson, and Rory Burns also has balls, where none of the players actually, apart from them, have any balls. Hasib Hamid has even less balls, and he gets picked for this tour. It's not about technique. It's not about anything. It's just about mentality. It's just about balls showing up there, and then he's going to show up. You imagined. See, anything is possible in sport. Anything is possible. A drop catch comes in, suddenly you make 97 and you're fine. But if you were just, I mean, if you really know anything about psychology, do you think this guy is going to show up at Melbourne in front of so many people and score a century
Yeah.
or score 20, score maybe 15? No, he's not. He's going to get out and duck. He became the 50th English batsman this year, which is like some sort of world record. I think second best or something. 50th English batsman to get out on duck this year. This is a very ignominious, very shameful record that England have made. But trust me, this is not the only one. Can you please give me a little bit of your word on Hasib Hamid's selection over Rory Burns? Rory Burns deserved the sack, but how do you justify Hasib Hamid playing instead of Rory Burns? I don't get it. Only reason I have it is because he's from the Asian descent, and right now anybody who's Asian descent will not get dropped.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure because I don't think they have other options also. But yeah, I mean, just looking at Hasib Hamid, we have
I just gave
looked
you the
at him
option.
closely.
Why is Rory Burn not dropped? No, 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 don't circle around the question. I said, why is Rory Burn getting dropped? In the last inning that you saw, Rory Burn fought for it, and he has the balls. He's a fighter. Hasib Hamid got a duck in the last game. In the last innings, he got another duck. Rory Burns is
Yeah, I
second
think
highest scorer for England for the entire year, although it's pretty shameful as well. But he is. That's a fact. I'm just saying, on what basis Hasib Hamid has been picked, except for the reason that he's from an Asian descent. I just want any argument. Can you actually give any argument for in favor of this Mr. Hasib
no,
Hamid?
I can't. No, I can't give any argument in favor of this decision because it just seems, as you said, especially in a Boxing Day Test match where where all the Australians are, just all the crowd is around you and they're just baying for your blood, like a gladiator, like a gladiator match or stadium, and this guy walks in already two down. English are two down in the series. They're about to lose the Ashes, and then they have to play two more matches. So it just doesn't make any sense. Rory Burns, as you said, he tried his best in the second innings. At least he got some runs. Although he did drop catches, but then everyone was dropping catches in the second test match. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. And as you correctly said, probably this whatever is going on in England due to all those racism, things which are going on. What was his name? Sajid Khan. Whatever he was.
No, that's another thing going on in India. Who is a movie director, who is a brother of Farah Khan. He also used to touch girls, but that was more the other way around. I don't know, man. Some player who had no talent,
No
who got
talent, yeah,
bullied.
and then
Yeah,
right, he
who
was
used to tell
bullied,
other
and
people
then
that you're Jew and that's why you're stingy fucks because you're Jew, and he should drink alcohol with 17-year-old girls, only to implicate his teammates to like who's forcing alcohol down his throat. Except on his own volition, he is drinking alcohol in the flights. Only people who drink alcohol in the flights are cheap asses because it's free there. And then he's drinking with 17-year-old girl. I've already said this in multiple podcasts, but I don't care for that guy. Whatever his allegation is, I am not going to fight against them because I don't know the ins and outs of it. But I'm just saying he's also a hypocrite.
yeah, and I think somewhere that kind of baggage, because Joe Root was also dragged into it. It was said that he was not, although he was not part of that, whatever was going on, but he knew about it, so he could have spoken out. So all those things were going on. So probably that kind of baggage also played on mind of Joe Root or the team. The when the team selection was done. So I don't understand. I don't really understand that why Joe Burns was dropped and not Hasib Hamid.
All right, fair enough. I know the reasons they will be giving. He's a younger person. He has a better technique. He has a better, the high side, the best. If he performs well, then he is probably going to score the hundreds. But he is not scoring 100. He's not scoring even a
Yeah.
goddamn run. For fuck's sake, mate. Not even scoring a fuck's sake run. Because every motherfucker, all the white people don't have the balls right now to come up and stand against this thing because they'll look bad. And I can totally understand it. Only reason I'm able to say, and also justifying when I'm saying the white people don't have the balls to say something against this, because the only reason I have the balls to say against this because I am brown. Okay, I'm the privileged fucker right now. I can say anything I want to say. If I was white, people will be shitting all over us. But our podcast will get more
Yeah.
popular because of that. Let's
Yeah,
move on
and
from this
just
because, move on quickly.
yeah. So I was going to say something, but now I started watching the match, so I forgot. Okay, we can move on.
Okay, forget about it. We'll come back to that. So your thought will come if it's important. It's going to come back. Okay. Now, otherwise, I like the team. I like the team because they have put back Zach Crawley. Again, the person who has class. Doesn't mean he's going to suddenly score. He was averaging, everybody kept saying 7, 11, something like that. I kept saying 7. I think apparently it was 11. Not that any good. Joe Root was obviously going to score some runs. The moment he scored a 50, he just got out. Ben Stokes wasted a lot of deliveries as always. What he's doing, I don't know. He thinks he's become some, I don't know, Rahul Dravid or something. Johnny Bairstow played well. Eventually got out. Butler looked out of sorts as usual. But I like that the fact that they put Mark Wood back. This is much more gutsier team. And they can also justify that it's more gutsier. Maybe Hasib Hamid is better in the field and all that nonsense. Fine. But otherwise, they put Jack Leach back. It's like, okay, we're going to show some confidence in you. Jimmy Anderson is there, Ollie Robinson, Mark Wood. Somebody needs to have the pace because Mark Wood was able to rush people. He was rushing even Stephen Smith as well. And he got Stephen Smith out or something in the last game when he played in the first match. Now, I like the team, Australian team, but then you lose the toss. There was I think there was cloud cover in the morning. As I read, I haven't seen the match, and I saw only the last innings. Second last session and the last session after tea. Then you get out on 185. You again do not score 200. What do you expect? I like how the Australians came out. Although Warner got out, but this time Warner was playing like the Warner of the old. He was going for just going from from the word go. They've kept Marcus Harris. That's what happens when you're actually winning the matches, because Marcus Harris was exactly in the same boat as Zori Burns and Hasib Hamid, not scoring runs, and he was under pressure. They could have gotten Usman Khwaja, but again, argument is reasonable that Usman Khwaja is already 35. What are you trying to do? But right now, it's horses. Of courses, fair enough. Marcus Harris gets given another chance because his recent score, I mean, forever scores in Test cricket have been just terrible, absolutely terrible. But Netherline coming as number 3, which was the greatest surprise. But hold your horses. He was just a night watchman. Tomorrow morning, Marnus Labuschagne will come, who literally copies Steven Smith and starts scoring even better runs than Steven Smith. So not bad. He's become world number 1 as a Test batsman recently, I think a couple of days ago. I don't know how the Test ranking is done anyway, because Travis had made some 100 runs. Suddenly he's broken into top 10. That just shows how much Test cricket has actually been played out there.
Correct, correct.
Your comments on them getting out on 185 again, was that a 185 pitch? How much they could have, who could have done better? Anything on that?
I think it was difficult in the beginning. I think Joe Root got out very tamely. I think he was playing really well. But some of the dismissals were really strange, like like Stokes was just giving catching practice, and I think they were playing really well after the fourth wicket fell. They were not playing very well, but they were actually not getting trouble that much. But somehow they found ways to get out, and then the lower order came in. So it was definitely not a 185 wicket, and yeah, I think probably the first 10 to 15 overs were difficult, and but yeah, I think Joe Root could have gone on and made a bigger score, but I mean, can't fault him, right? He has to fail sometimes. He can't be scoring in each and every innings. But I
Yeah, that
felt
kind
that
of shows that you call a 50 as a failure. So, I mean, that's telling itself,
yeah,
because that's
exactly,
how the standards are.
because no one else is scoring any runs, because if other people would have at least scored 40, 50, they could have reached at least 250, which seems like a decent score on this pitch. I don't know, maybe we always say, I mean, all the commentators always say that we should always judge the pitch when both the teams have played on it. So we'll see tomorrow what happens. But yeah, definitely not 185. That there was
Yeah,
more.
well,
There were more
Australia
runs.
has kind of played, and because Marcus Harris hasn't gotten out, I mean, it will be almost unimaginable if Australia actually gets out for 185. Even if they do, Australia will still be in the box seat, because they'll come out again firing and destroy them, and probably end up playing on the third day, which will be probably the best day to play and actually
Right,
destroy
right.
the match. But again, that's also a lot of wishful thinking. Do you think England has any chance, 1%, 3%, 5.2% chance of winning this thing, or it's going to be 3-0? It's already, the writing is on the wall, or the P is on the wall, as
Yeah,
Indian people say.
I don't see any chances because, see, don't. And when we talk, let's when when we talk about Virat Kohli, right?
Hmm.
He has been failing, but he has looked good, right? He has whenever he has made some runs or whatever has happened, he has
Hmm.
looked in command or control. But if you see the England batsmen, especially the top order, barring obviously Joe Root, it just feels like they're just so fragile. Like any time they
Hmm.
can get out. So that kind of, and that's what I actually remembered what I was going to say. Hasib Amir, he literally he literally made his team lose against us. If you remember, he and the other, who was the other opener, they were playing really well, and then he got the other opener run out, and he himself got out to a very stupid shot after making 50 runs, and then eventually the whole team collapsed. So
Don't ask me who was the opener. Was they've already had 21 openers in the last 2-3 years. It's been crazy. I
so
don't know who's the opener.
so yeah, so it just feels that there is
Oh, you.
no
I think you're
confidence.
talking about Dom Sibley, I believe.
Dom Sibley, yeah, our favorite Dom Sibley. So, yeah, I think it just feels like you need some solidity in the top order. Even with our fragile batting order, we still won test matches in England just because of the decent starts which we were getting. So yeah, I mean, it's very difficult. It has to be, Australian team who is on a high right now. They need to collapse twice to actually give some chance to England, because England batting lineup can collapse at any time. So yeah, I don't give them any chance actually.
Nil, 0%. There must be 5%
Zero
chance.
percent, 0%. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give them 0.25% chance. It's gonna be absolute miracle. Ben Stokes gonna go mental. Jimmy Anderson gonna get a fifer. Maybe Jack Lee's gonna get a fifer. Maybe he's gonna take 10 wickets. He's gonna just be another person, the fourth person to take 10 wickets.
Yeah, yeah.
That will
Yeah,
be
things can
some.
happen.
That'll be the miracle of Mecca. Except he has nothing to do with Mecca. But then Lords is called Mecca. MCG is called Mecca. It's called the G. I really don't think Australia, the way they've come out, they're going to look positive. I think even if Australia doesn't play very well, they're still going to score. I don't know. There's still going to be another 100-odd run lead. I like how Starkey is bowling. Cummins came out like guns firing. Everybody else bowling. I was happy that Boland actually got a wicket. So because when you don't get a wicket, it's just, there's always this monkey on your back that you haven't gotten the wicket. So he got it. Cameron Green's been bowling
Even
well. Lyon has got the rhythm
Cam
in.
Cam Cam Green is bowling so well that I was
He's
really
bowling
surprised
brilliantly.
because because he apparently he was the fastest bowler today. Can you imagine?
Faster than Mitchell Stark.
Yeah.
Oh, that's something.
So yeah, that was something. Yeah, that's what I mean. It just see it's fun. People say that cricket is a funny game, but it it just seems implausible that in a test match, if this was a T20 match, we could have said that okay, anything can happen. But in a test match, even if you lose few wickets, you always have a chance to come back in the in the match. So it just feels very difficult for England to actually come back into this match. And right now,
All right, we're
Kohli
gonna
is
do a
looking really good.
yeah. We'll do a midweek podcast to just figure out where the hell these matches are. Like probably a Wednesday would be perfect. I'm not sure. Maybe Tuesday, depending how Australia kicks ass, because Wednesday might not even happen. Okay, so that might not happen. I think let's move on to the India's game. Before I come back to the big questions, did Rahul get dropped like twice almost?
Mayank,
Once by Mayank. Mayank got dropped. Whose catch this the cock dropped? And then
yeah,
even the other
Mayank,
new guy, Mulder. Is he Mulder? No. The left armor
Madler.
that they have, Jensen.
Oh,
Jensen.
yeah,
Jensen also
Yaku
dropped.
Hansen, yeah,
Yeah, when he pulled him.
Jansen.
That was definitely KL
Uh,
Rahul, right?
that
And as you
that
said,
was a
Kohli is
difficult
looking good.
chance. Yeah, that
Um,
was a difficult chance.
so
But yeah, the
Kohli, but
first
it's
drop
still,
was
still a drop, right? He reached it. He reached out. He reached all
right,
the
right,
way.
right,
So I feel it's a chance. Now, I mean, let's not talk about Kohli unless he actually converts something big, because he
right.
has looked good fairly often. Sometimes he's looked ordinary, but he has not looked like impregnable, which was Virat Kohli. You
Hmm.
can't. I mean, at some level, you have to accept that you can't be getting out in 64, 74, 59, 64, 80. That's not Virat Kohli. That used to be Joe Root.
Hmm.
Now Virat Kohli has become Joe Root. And now Joe Root has also become Joe Root. Joe Root's like, can I get myself
In
like
Australia,
let's just
in
it's
Australia,
like in Australia he's become Joe Root himself. So it's been pretty neat. Um, let's talk about Ajinkya Rahane. What is it that's going to happen? We talked about in the last podcast as well. Now they already have Shreyas Iyer there. Hanuma Vihari is there. Everybody's there. They still don't pick him. They still pick Ajinkya Rahane, who has not scored a run
right?
since 1984. And the
I
only reason, as
think
we know, we say this thing all the time,
right.
only reason because Pujara, Virat Kohli are in the same boat. They have been struggling. Their averages are in 20s and they have been terrible. One big score has been far, like last time Ajinkya Rahane scored a century was that, I think he's still living off that Melbourne century, right? We are in Melbourne right
Exactly.
now.
He's
Last year
We
around
are
this
still
exactly the
paying.
same time, Virat Kohli had come back. We are still paying the fucking mortgage. ये
Yeah,
पाप
exactly.
हमने करे थे. And that one century that he made at Melbourne on fucking drop-in pitches, we're still paying fucking for it. It's like those credit
And
card
he
you take and suddenly you realize that you're paying 45% interest rate.
and he was dropped, I think, 5 times in that innings or
Oh
something
yeah,
like that.
absolutely. He
If
was
I
dropped 60. Oh my god, that was a Jaffa. Okay.
so
Okay,
so yeah,
yeah.
I think we discussed about it last time also, and I said that this is a combination of two things. One is obviously, as you said, Virat Kohli, and both Virat Kohli and Pujara, they are not able to make runs, big runs, and Rahul Dravid being new, so it just feels very it just very feels very soon for him to actually come in and just drop the captain, because he was the captain, right, in the last series, the first match. So it just feels that, and Rahul Dravid, although he's very aggressive, it just feels like he's that nice guy, right? He can't be a jerk, and so it just feels like he's just waiting for the opportunity. I mean, there's no need for wait. There's no need to wait for any opportunity, because Rahane has given a lot of opportunities to get dropped, but it just feels that he doesn't want to outright drop him. So now he is dropped from the captaincy. He's removed from the vice captaincy, and now I think should be the next step if he doesn't score in this test, because this seems to be a very easy pitch compared to what we faced last time, and the sun is also beating down. So if he comes in, he should be able to score some runs, which I don't want him to. But yeah, it just feels, and it's again very harsh on other players, because uh, I don't know whether you saw an interview of Ashwin, and Ashwin has been repeatedly dropped, even though he has performed. You must see that interview, or at least read it. It's kind of great. It's kind of neat. So he said that during the earlier Australian tour, he was actually dropped in favor of Kuldeep, and Ravi Shastri told him that you are the number one bowler, number one spinner, but Nathan Lyon is taking more wickets than you. So yeah, this kind of harshness, this kind of bluntness should be there for batsmen also, right? It shouldn't be just reserved for bowlers. So I don't understand like why there is this double standards for bowlers and batsmen.
Well, anyway, I don't understand this logic personally of like, either you're a nice guy or you're an absolute cunt. There is a, like, he has to be this horrible person. There, dropping Ajinkya Rahane is just only for cricketing reasons, no other reasons. Shreyas Iyer,
Exactly.
if anybody has any fucking memory, he came in against the New Zealand series. Didn't he score a fucking century? Then he scored another century
Yeah.
recently. He's been on like
Yeah.
stellar form. This time and age, they need to blood in this guy. This is the best time. Instead, what you're doing is putting him on the bench, making him feel like shit when he's performing. Then he's going to put him in when Rahane has not performed. Now you go like, Rahane just hanging over your head that, okay, if you fail once, we'll put Rahane back in. Except Rahane has failed 37 times and nobody's coming in. It's over. Like, sometime you have to say, and that's one problem I face with Rahul Dravid as well, because I don't want nice guys. I want somebody who's ready to do what's supposed to be done. I'm just saying, you don't have to be a cunt, you don't have to be a nice guy. You need to do what needs to be done. And he's been taken on the tour. All three of us that day naively thought that he's been taken, but he's not going to be playing, because that just doesn't make sense. It beggars belief that he's going to be playing. But now, for all I know, I don't think they even considered him dropping him at all. They were like,
Yeah.
Ajinkya Rahane, he's going to play. Fuck that shit. Tim Payne, see what happened to you need to be lethal. This is what happens. And once Cummins became captain, he already said in the media that I want Steven Smith to become the vice captain, because it just makes sense. If you have a fast bowler, some shit will happen. He'll have to rest, probably make eye contact with COVID positives. Whatever the shit happens, he will have to rest, and somebody needs to come in. He used to be like a genuine fucking person, not Marnus Labuschagne, who's never actually captained the Australian team.
Right.
And sometimes you have to move out of the controversies. And again, what happens here today? Pujara gets out on a golden duck. People have to understand that we cannot keep living in the past. He is not an excellent fielder, Pujara. His batting form over the last couple of years has been absolutely bang average. He could be an English batsman for all you know. We keep talking about that every one time. Obviously, at every 1/5 time, he will be fine. He will take blows. He's strong. He has the balls. He has the technique. But people eventually figure you out. And unless you reinvent yourself, which definitely Pujara cannot, and he'll be fine. And I don't know where the runs are going to come from anyway, because even this pitch, which has not been good, gets out on the very first delivery. In India, they're making all these spinning tracks where nobody can score runs. So I don't know where the next century or next big run for Pujara is coming from. Ajinkya Rahane needs to get out of the fucking team. He doesn't deserve to be in the team. He hasn't deserved to be in the team for the longest time. He just keeps making these runs at the right time. And when he becomes the captain, I don't think he's a bad captain. I think he's a fairly decent captain. Whatever he does works. There is no reason to deny that. But if India really needs to become the best goddamn team, just the way Australia is doing right now, right? India would have never dropped Richardson. That's the difference between Australia and India.
Mm-hmm.
They say, okay,
Right.
you're out. We're going to bring Boland in because this is the guy who's from Melbourne. This is the guy who's taken so many wickets here. He's 32 years old, but they'll bring him in. It's just, you need to be cutthroat. You just need to do the right thing. Now, what will happen if Ajinkya Rahane makes a 55 here? Man, do I have to suffer this guy for another year because of 55 that he scored?
Yeah, exactly.
You're just hoping. I mean, we were so lucky with Solskjaer, right? That day we eventually lost that fucking match against Watford 4-1. But last 2 goals in the last 4 minutes in the injury time, that was finally we knew that Solskjaer is going to be out. If those 2 goals hadn't happened and 2-1 loss, he would have been still our coach and nothing would have changed. It's just sometimes we just need to make the right decision. And only reason he's there because Virat Kohli and Pujara have been absolutely bang average. If they were scoring well, they were performing to their potential. Ajinkya Rahane doesn't have the potential. He's like Rory Burns. His upside is also 71. And when he makes a century, he gets dropped 5 times. But people are like, oh, well, he get lucky. People get lucky. When you see Joe Root playing, when you see Virat Kohli right now playing, he might get out. But he will be playing like Virat Kohli because there is class. And Pujara, when he's playing, he becomes impregnable because he gets so defensive. One or the other ball, leaves him and he gets out. But Pujara hasn't been good for a long time. We need to look for an alternative for Pujara as well. There are a lot of people sitting outside. Just imagine if Ajinkya Rahane was that 24-year-old guy who's sitting outside, who cannot get a place because of a 34-year-old guy who just hasn't scored runs. I mean, you tell me, how is that fair? Is it about being nice and being a cunt or just doing the right thing? Because Shreyas Iyer has come in, performed, and this guy, everybody has touted him as the next big thing. Will you let him play? I'm just saying, just let him play. I really hope Ajinkya Rahane fails miserably in this test match so we can get rid of this guy, because if he makes another 57 or 43 as his favorite number is, we'll have to suffer him through the entire series, and Shreyas Iyer will probably get depressed and move to Kolpak because he's already moved out of Delhi IPL team after the nonsense that happened, because Rishabh Pant was a bigger captain than him. Yeah, we know how good a captain Rishabh Pant is. And KL Rahul, if he scores a century, good. If he doesn't score a century, it will only be because KL Rahul is amazing talent and right up there. But the only reason he'll not score centuries today is because he'll just get the nerves. Otherwise, KL Rahul is KL Rahul. I mean, comes out very first innings, doing very well. I mean, what a team, man. What a team. And Virat Kohli, I have never been a century person, but right now I just hope Virat Kohli just gets that 100 and monkey off his back so he can play like Virat Kohli, because all we're hearing nonsense from Virat Kohli is all about BCCI spat, who said this, Virat Kohli ka bacha, Virat Kohli ki biwi. What the fuck, we want to talk about cricket?
Yeah.
Man,
this has been the
stuffy
worst.
hair is
yeah.
I mean, what's time? How Virat Kohli was responsible for everything that India is bad for. Just play the goddamn cricket. Just be. I'm happy he's not the captain. I don't even care. Don't even be fucking But if he's no longer Test cricket captain, India will collapse. That I can tell you 100%, because nobody has the balls. Rohit Sharma becomes coming here is he's always going to choose against the Test matches, except that he does nothing except bat in the opening, and he stands in the slips, drops every other catch that he can. Does nothing. Still, he gets niggles. Still, he cannot hold himself on.
And he gets niggles. He gets niggles before Test matches in overseas. That's just
because he's not going to perform, right? He knows he's not going to perform. He's like, okay, it's the best thing is, because I'm pretty sure he's going to come back for the one-day internationals.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, that's already announced that he'll be okay by the time the ODI rolls in. So it's just a strategic injury. And then there was all the talk about maybe he doesn't want to play under Virat Kohli. They have played so many matches together. If there was a rift, if there was a
that is not the reason. That is not the reason. That is
just stupid. It's just stupid that what
doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah,
doesn't even make any sense. What do you think about this South African team? Because it looks very, I don't know. Dean Elgar is the captain. I mean, he plays well. He's a bit like Rory Burns a little bit, but he scores more than Rory Burns. That's the only difference.
He scores.
He will maneuver ball. He's a fighter. that Eden Markram is there, Peterson. I think a lot of names don't actually. I don't know why Temba Bavuma is again in the team. He's always in the team. Like, what is it with Temba
Yeah,
Bavuma?
he's Rahane.
He is the
He's South
Rahane.
Africa's Rahane.
He yeah, he's got the black card. But I personally feel that Enric Nokia's injury right before the series started and him getting, I think he's out for the entire series. If I'm not completely incorrect,
Yeah,
he's
he's
out of the series,
out.
and that's a big boost for India because somehow Rabada hasn't really looked as amazing as he always been. And I like what India is doing. They're just trying to blunt him, let him bowl, not go for runs. But recently in this session, even he has gone for runs because he was like
Yeah,
giving like at 1 run and over. But now I think last 5 overs he went for like 20 or something. So they're taking runs from everybody else. Marco Jensen is a new kid who looks like this left armer who's already like a very smaller run up. He's like looks like he's when he's 30 when Wasim Akram was 34, except but once he gets a couple of wickets, Jensen, I think he can also come good. But apart from that, those two balls when they got two wickets, it and a couple of catches which could
yeah.
have been taken. India can really run away from this match. I don't know why South Africa has given these pitches. They need to come up with better pitches. They need to come up with this like last time when we went there. Those are the pitches they need to put up for India. And South Africa still remains the only bastion where India has not gone and won.
Right. Yeah, I think it's definitely the weakest South African side which we are playing against. Because bowlers like Ngidi, they are starting, they are opening the attack with Rabada. I mean Rabada, and again Rabada, as you said correctly said, I feel that he has not really fulfilled his potential after being the spearhead. Right, he was always a great bowler when he was surrounded by other greats. Now, since he has to be the leader of the pack, I don't think he has been able to fulfill his potential, like whatever we think he should achieve. So that has been a problem. And Ngiri again, I think is very early. They have not played much Test cricket. The last series they played was against West Indies. Obviously, West Indies is a very weak team in Test matches, at least. So it just feels, yeah, the bowling feels really very weak compared to what we have faced before. And I think the pitch also, I'm not sure, I don't remember if Centurion traditionally it seems that much, but in the morning it seemed like it was a green pitch, but now it seems like the ball doesn't move that much. Ball is not moving that much. So I'm not sure about the history of Centurion, but yeah, it just feels. We'll see once the Indian bowlers start bowling, because this could be an issue with the skill set also. Um, I like Jansen, the new guy. He should have got Mayank's wicket. The catch was dropped uh,
Quinton,
by Quinton de Kock, who is just playing this match. Apparently, after that he'll be away due to
he's
personal
away. What
reasons.
for?
Personal reasons.
Goodness.
So, I mean, this is from after a long time they're playing Test match in their country, and this guy is going away due to personal. So I don't I sometimes I also feel that it doesn't feel like a very united team for some reason, because there's a lot of nonsense going on, and a lot of political unrest. I think 2 days back Graham Smith was also sacked from the director post or something like that happened. So it doesn't feel like a very settled team. And obviously there's no aggression. We have last time when we toured, there was obviously there's no crowd also, which is shameful, because uh, South African crowds are really good. They back their team a lot. There's a lot of noise and everything. So I think that atmosphere is not there. It just feels like they're just playing, they're just bowling. There's no proper aggression or nothing. So yeah, it just feels very weak. Maybe it will change after few days, but it just feels like they're just going through the motions.
Yeah, I mean, because I haven't actually followed the entire thing. I didn't see it earlier. I was outside. I was writing, and I had that stupid test to write. But yeah, let's give it a little bit time.
Yeah,
Audience not being there, the spectators not being there. I would not call it shameful. I would call it like it's a shame because we don't know the exact
yeah,
reasons what's happened. But obviously they've gone conservative. Fair enough, because in South Africa they have that Omicron around. So fair enough. I think that's where it originated or some shit like that. So I don't know the ins and outs, but it's a shame that the crowd is not there, because if the crowd were there, India's chances of winning would definitely go down by 25%.
Right,
Because
exactly.
South Africans is one thing, they love their cricket, and the cricket's coming back after a long time. India is there. This is a big series. It matters for people, and somehow I think the intensity comes in, like, see the difference between English, for example, English bowlers and the Australian bowlers. So English bowlers are used to helpful conditions. So whenever the conditions
Right.
are not helpful, which are in Australia, they somehow they look like disinterested. Somehow they feel like they start bowling off spinners, which Ollie Robinson did with sunglasses on. So, but Australian bowlers, when the situation, the pitch is not helpful, they keep going all out because they're used to it. They just used to
Right.
pitches not being helpful to them. So they keep rolling, keep the ball only. They're like always enthusiastic because like this is not how life is. We're just not used to any kind of comfort of the swing and reverse swing and all this. That
Right,
doesn't
right,
happen. After 15 overs, it
right.
doesn't happen. The English ball will be like, whoa, what are we supposed to do now? The ball is not swinging. This fucking Kookaburra is not happening. Where's that Duke's ball? I think the next big scandal will be like the ball was in midway, like replaced with Duke ball, like from the pocket, and nobody noticed. He's like, "What the fuck?" And he says Kookaburra, but it's actually Duke ball. So like next scandal will be that. Waiting for that. So I think it's the same way that if because they were not able to get the breakthrough in the earlier in the day, so they look flatter than they probably do. It's just the body language. Sometimes we end up reading too much in it. But one thing is absolutely certain, that that the aggression, that firepower, that's something which was even there in the last tour, right?
Right.
It's just
It was there.
gone, and somehow I'm feeling there's something off with the entire South Africa, like the whole cricketing culture and the way the politics works, the way the black white thing is working. Because I've always said, like literally, AB de Villiers is like the best player. Test match, one day match, whatever match, cricket, like the best player out there in the last 20 years. But even he was just losing interest. He was the person who
Right.
was like, okay, I don't want to play. I mean, and then he disappeared from IPL eventually. Now he's like, I don't want to play. I think we should have seen the writing on the wall. We didn't talk about it as much, but it was so obvious. And the guy is happy to come at number 6, play like 5
Hmm.
deliveries or 2 deliveries, specifically
Right,
coming
right,
somewhere after 6 months and only happy to play. You already know that he's okay. Like he doesn't care anymore. Because if it was you
right,
and
right.
I were like the best player, I want to fucking go in there, number 3. I want to
Yeah,
open.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not going to challenge that. And then naturally he gave up cricket altogether because the fire is not there, because some other things are there that you just don't want to play anymore. That's why the England, when you see Jimmy Anderson, when you see Pat Cummins says, I was angry. I was angry not to play. I was like super angry. I don't know who I was angry with, but I wanted to be there. I want to play the goddamn match. Mitchell Stark could have rested to this match and come back for the last 2 matches, which makes perfect sense. They have so many bowlers. If Mitch Stark rests and then this gap in the perfectly, and he comes for the next match, which is going to be big, and the pink ball test, he's the best pink ball bowler anyway. But he said, I'm gonna play. In the last match, Smith bowled Mitchell Stark so many overs, like he's never bowled that many overs. So I thought he'll be bowling less overs in this match. But again, Mitchell Stark is bowling more than Cameron Green, because like no, you are the main bowler, you will bowl more. That's just the way it is. So they bowled Cummins and him bowled the maximum overs. And that's something I want, that firepower, which is I would not say that that they don't want to win as much, but when something is missing, right, you don't feel like unity. You don't feel that
Exactly.
that team spirit. You don't feel like we are together. Something is there. Somehow you feel like, why is Temba Bavuma in the team? And when you play India, we are the richest fucking country when it comes to cricket. We have so many riches. Like literally, we can send B team to play against these people. And Australia, we beat them with C team as well in Brisbane. So things can
Right,
happen if India comes
right,
together, as the firepower is there. Right. But for South Africa, when Henrik Nokia gets injured, and then you let your best players go to Cole Park, and some other players were playing people. We don't know, like, what kind of team is this thing? We don't even know it. These people haven't even played with each other that much. So where will that brotherhood, where the camaraderie will come? Where will be
right.
that fire will come? Where will the sledging will come? They're not even sure, can they sledge, can they not sledge? Because they're not sledging because the whole black thing is there. Temba
Yeah,
Bowman will like, oh,
exactly,
we don't sledge,
exactly,
right? We don't want to be
exactly.
that bad people. Suddenly sledging has become this bad thing, completely bad thing.
Right,
No, it's just a lot of terrible stuff is happening. And what happened to Australia? Australia is the first person to cancel tours against South Africa.
right.
It just feels everything is happening away from the field, and which is just such a nonsense, because test cricket is the epitome of cricket. No matter what happens, it's the test matches that matter. When you sit down and watch a test match, you feel something is, it's a real test, as it says namesake. It's a real test. When England was playing today, you know who is the best batsman in the world. It's Joe fucking Root. And when he gets out in that ball, it's just in the one day and T20 is just like it's a tamasha. It's just a tamasha.
Right.
And T20 is just probably like, sorry, one day is to just make centuries. Like that's the only difference between T20 and one days, because you can make centuries. You can have like 45 centuries, which like Virat Kohli or something has, right? So probably he's just waiting for the one day internationals. And Rahul is just fucking destroying them. I don't know, like right now he had 6. And
Yeah.
luckily I have it on mute because Sunil Gavaskar goes everywhere. I'm just fucking man, it's painful. He's into his 90s. By the way, is Virat finally are you gonna take your curse back, you and Lal? Just remove the voodoo. Just remove all the pins that you put in the voodoo doll. Just let him. Let him.
I've never.
If Virat, if
I've never
this motherfucker gets a century, this Rahul, and he does this once more time, I'm gonna fucking whip him. I'm gonna whip his ass. There's a girl at my
Yeah.
workplace. She has wallpaper on her phone, on her laptop, everywhere. I'm pretty sure she has
Oh,
a
is
tattoo
it?
on her ass also. This guy doing this thing. She thinks he's the greatest thing
Yeah.
ever. No, he also doesn't have any balls. He's just a great batsman. He doesn't have any balls. But if you're a great batsman, sometime you're gonna score 100. And I don't know
Yeah.
why people do that after they score 100 in a one-day international. We don't even know your 100 will win the match or lose the match, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Because we
Right.
don't even like you just took like 117 deliveries. I mean, like you're probably gonna end up losing the match because of your 100, you moron. So that just I always find it like comical. Like in a test match in the, I mean, that's why when what Steven Smith did in like 2 years ago in England, I mean, those pitches you can't even like you average 35 is amazing. He's the kind scoring centuries after every ball. He's getting concussion, he's coming back. Okay, no, I'm back, I'm back. People are like, please don't go back. Please drag him. That's the kind of thing we want, right? Like the guy is like gets out on 93, he's like grumpy.
Right.
Like super. I
Right.
want
Right.
passion from people. Like people come out.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like the very first ball, Mitchell Stark took the wicket, and Mitchell Stark is somebody who does not, react so much. I think Ben Stokes decided to make sure that Mitchell Stark is not the most low profile person. He'll be the most low profile person. He like takes a wicket, doesn't react. Last time when he took a wicket on that no ball, people said he didn't react because he knew it was a no ball. No, if you're really following him, he's not reacting at all. He's just like done. It's done. If he did not know it was a no ball, he's just not reacting. That's his new persona right now. He's just been this cold guy, like absolutely cold. Even while batting, also cold stone face. So coming back to India, do you think are you going to remove your voodoo, the pins? You and Lal. Lal is not here, but I'm requesting you, both of you, please remove that fucking thing. I do not want to see another 74. I am sick of it because Ajinkya Rahane will get him run out.
No, I have never put a voodoo doll. I think it was Lal, because he was livid with him for not playing
No, you're
Ashwin.
right. But you haven't also said anything. You've been like, it's okay.
Yeah, because we have been expecting this century from a long time, and now it feels like if I say something, it will jinx him even further. But yeah, this seems to be a good pitch. Seems to be a very docile bowling attack. I mean, let's not say docile, but it
Well,
seems very flat.
it's not docile, but I think it's not about the pitch. It's about the mind, right? Whenever he's going to be playing, he's
Yeah,
going to make that 74. The first thing is going to come, am I going to make a century? He's not going to be the free-minded, right? Like,
right,
I'm just
right.
going to play. That thought
Yeah,
will
I think
come to you that I have
yeah, I
not
think
made a fucking
that's
century.
right.
It's going to
I think
happen
yeah,
after 70 onward, it will happen.
see, it will happen because
That's why he needs
eventually
to score
your
quicker,
instincts.
not become
Right, right.
mental, but score quicker, because the quicker he scores, the better it will be. Because some delivery will have his name on him. Because eventually, I think they will be reaching that point. If he doesn't score very well, that new ball will come in or something. I think he should be able
Right,
to get
right.
his runs before the new ball, but then
It's
you don't really know that, right? How many overs have been bowled? Yeah,
66
no.
overs.
He won't, yeah, he's not going to be able to get a century before that.
No, not before
At
that.
least.
But yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is, see, eventually he'll get a century. Other, if not in test matches, at least in one day.
No,
But
test is real, right? One day will not mean anything.
yeah,
When he doesn't test,
yeah,
I want to see his reaction. I think he's going to be like, very calm. I think I
he'll do
feel that.
this.
I have a feeling.
He'll do this.
Yeah. केएल इज लाइक ये तो मेरा है, ये तो मेरा है। वो कह रहा है कि ओरिजिनल नहीं है भाई, लोगों ने करा हुआ है बहुत ज़्यादा। Yeah. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
he needs to actually, because now all the shit which is going on outside, and all the politics which Mr. Ganguly is playing, I think it's time. This is the time to actually score a big century, and shut all the noise. And this will be actually apt for the situation now. So yeah, yeah. Hopefully, hopefully he'll score.
I mean, we need people who can actually stand up to scrutiny. People who are like, when they're down, when everybody's calling them shit, they will say, okay, we are not shit. Because as, for example, like Mitchell Stark, everybody kept saying, like, including the biggest people, Shane Warne, been talking
Shane
shit
Warne.
about him.
Shane Warne.
Shane Warne, Shane Warne.
12 minutes he tried to convince people that the delivery which got Rory Burns was didn't swing. 12 minutes.
And that was the reason when I don't know, you watched the Great Cricketer podcast, because I have like incredible love for Shane Warne. I think he's the greatest bowler, and then as a commentary and everything, he's been absolutely brilliant. But I think that has become personal, and even in there, I think who's the other guy, Ian Perry and the Sam. Sorry, Sam Perry, Ian Higgins. So Sam said, Sam loves like literally this guy, and he said, you know what? When he kept harping on the fact, like you bowl the first delivery of your thing, which can actually, which is because that delivery, it will be final. I'm telling you. He did not even, he took like one wicket, I think, in that innings later on. In the second innings, he was okay. Right. He took like one wicket after that. He took only two wickets throughout the match after that. But that
Right.
one delivery, that made it 5-0, because you said, like, there you go. Now you're down. And since then, they haven't been able to come up at all.
Right.
Whatever the fucking delivery was, it was there right on the ball. It was right on the stumps. Okay, maybe it was going down the leg side, but when pitched, anybody can see it held. After that, if you see the ball where its trajectory was, it should have actually missed the leg stump. Okay, but
Exactly.
it went straight on after pitching. So it did not miss. It fucking whipped. The only thing that did not happen was the cartwheel of the stumps. That did not happen. And after that, at that time, you be graceful, because by the way, you go on internet, there's like, they have got reactions from everybody around the world, and everybody's like going mental, except Shane Warne, who is this personal fucking agenda, who think the ball did not swing, it was on the leg side, it was a half tracker, all that nonsense, everything is wrong with Rory Burns, except just understand this is the delivery, this is the reason. In when we're gonna get old, right? This is where he's gonna start. That's the reason why fucking they beat them 5-0. And
Yeah.
Joe Root is gonna say, well, I could have gotten a century, but my team was shit. What can I do? Now I can tell you, every motherfucker was shit. What can I do? I told them to drop Hasim Hamid, but they say, don't drop him, he's brown. Just drop Rory Burns, he's white. And they say, you can't say that, but just drop him. Just drop him. And Hasim Hamid will get fucking ducks after ducks, but people not talking shit about him. He's the future. He's not the future. He's just young. Not every fucker young person is the future. Okay, it's just not gonna happen. We need bit more balls from, like, something different has to. We need test cricketers. When the test cricket is there, I mean, everybody knows that test cricket is the best in England, because something is happening all the time. And when the last series happened in India, in South Africa, I love that series, because now Bumrah, how that's where Bumrah became himself, right?
Right.
He came
Right.
out as
Right.
bowler who's like, oh god, unplayable. But I want to see now Bumrah on this pitch, when it's not going to be amazing. I don't want to see a draw. I don't want India to make 487 and then South Africa making 454, and then we're like, oh, it's dragging to the last day, and then some rain will happen, some drama will happen, some light problem will happen, and then we're like, it's a draw. Last thing we want right now for a test match is a draw. We want
Yeah.
results, and test matches are very much capable of result. We want a competitive match, because there's no reason why for South Africa not to be able to beat India right now, because it's home. They've always beaten them. India has never won there. But the team right here, and everybody will say, oh, such a great captain. But I mean, if Virat Kohli wins it, they always say you can only beat what's out there, right? So if they win in
Right.
South
Exactly.
Africa, that will be some fucking thing, right? It will be a big deal. I think it will be fair enough. But we need people to rise to the occasion, because there were a lot of situations when even Nathan Lyon was, called to scrutiny, because he wasn't. People say he hasn't taken a wicket in 1 year, which was kind of like, I mean, like, technically it was correct, but then they hadn't actually played for a year, so that was the problem, which was only exacerbated by the fact that he could have taken the wicket in the last innings in Brisbane and beaten India, and then he did not take the wicket. India won the match, broke the, like, a 30-year-old voodoo there. All I can say is I really hope Virat Kohli gets his, like, the 100, but the 100 that is like a proper Virat Kohli 100. I don't want him to scrape through, have two missed catches. I don't want a Rahane 100. I want a Virat Kohli 100. I want him to get it done in this innings. It's long
Yeah.
time coming. And after that, just play like Virat Kohli. After that, make 30, 32, 74. Never ever make a century. But just get that voodoo out of your head, and just show me you're Virat Kohli, because you are Virat Kohli. You're like the best fucking player, and suddenly you're struggling. Manas Labuschagne is the greatest player now on earth. And the way Magnus Abushin comes, he looks like the greatest player on the earth. He is always talking to himself and loudly and telling everybody, "Oh, awesome, ball delivery!" He's
Yeah,
telling the bowlers also. He's amazing. He's like, I'm gonna like. He's copying Steven Smith. He's like going like doubling down also. He's like going to another
making
level.
caricature out of him.
Yeah, complete caricature. It's working. I think everybody will start becoming like that. Oh boy. So,
Yeah.
any chance for South Africa before we try to wrap it up? Have we missed something?
Yeah,
I didn't have a script today.
there is a chance. I mean, it's not like England, but I think this match.
The forecast is fine, right?
Forecast is not fine. That's what I was going to say next.
Oh,
I think
sweet Jesus.
tomorrow it's supposed to be almost a washout. But
Oh,
yeah, so probably that will play a role. But I think they can still, South Africa can still do well because, you know, our batting lineup is also fragile. We have Rahane, and
I think he's
then
out,
we have
right? He's out. Virat Kohli is out.
yeah, he just got out. Yeah. So, yeah.
I think the curse still is there. 35. That's his other one. It was like 74 was
35.
already too much.
Yeah,
I think this
it
moment
was
you
a
should put
very
in there.
wide ball.
You should
He's
put in
just
there.
trying to.
But he has to go for it. He has to go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to go for it. Fair enough. But he wasn't. He just didn't reach the pitch of it because it was not
Yeah,
a
he
full
just,
length delivery. It was wide,
right.
but it was more like a slightly short of a good length or something. And he kept swinging. Like if you see, he just kept swinging and he just went after. Is it Ngidi again?
Yeah,
Third
Ngidi,
for Ngidi? Yeah, Ngidi again.
10
Now we're
wickets
talking
for
shit about
Ngidi.
Ngidi. Ngidi is like, fuck you people. I'm not here on quota. I'm the best fucking bowler who never plays for CSK. He's for CSK, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that
Virat Kohli
didn't
has become
work
35.
out.
Yeah.
35.
Before the podcast finished, we finished Virat Kohli after talking him up so much. Maybe I'm the jinx. Oh no, a jinx is gonna come and make a first ball duck.
God.
And then people are like, well, Pujara also did not score. Kohli also did not score. इतना गंदा shot मार रहा था ये. तो मेरे को तो बनता है. Oh, just the moment you said India's okay, while we were looking completely impregnable, and the moment you said it, suddenly they got a wicket. So yeah, I think the match is over. But if it's gonna have a complete washout, which is gonna have this lasting impact, like next day there's some water, some other things. If tomorrow's entire day is rain, you're saying the next 3 days are perfectly sunny.
Next 3 days are okay. I think last day there's some rain, but that rain is predicted later in the day, so might be okay. But that's what I was saying. That see now 3 wickets down, Ajinkya Rahane is walking in. We can be all out into 260 to 70.
It looks like he's already peed in his pants. But I think he's wearing diapers, so I think you can't see it. Oh, he just checked his diaper. He just touched it. Or suddenly there'll be firepower. Suddenly with all the things we're missing. Because a wicket can do like a lot of wonders.
And Virat
a lot of
Kohli's
wonders. Oh, 39. Awesome. Now he's become this English player.
39.
Yeah, he's become this English player. It's like if he's 39, he's the greatest batsman. Because he's like, Ben Stokes is 37. What is my problem? I am better than Ben Stokes. And you say Ben Stokes is amazing. Yeah, because he bowls. And he plays in England. You dumbass. And he feels like magic. He can take catches from the sky. He's a crazy guy. I will be the happiest if this guy gets out on a duck. Like, super
let's
happy.
just see this.
But please don't get out right now because that will put more pressure on KL. Because now what will happen? Because KL is a pressure person, right? If other people are getting out, he'll start changing his game. He'll make it more defensive, which will put more pressure. He just needs to play his normal game. If the ball is there, hit it. Just hit it.
I think that's what happened because and they're just showing the timeline. Last 10 deliveries, they have not scored a single run. So I think Virat Kohli saw a wide ball and thought, okay, this is a chance for scoring a boundary. And
no, it is fair enough, but your feet movement has to be there, right? Because he was not moving towards it. He was not ready to hit from the very beginning. So if he had moved, he would have moved with the swing of the delivery because he was so wide, he kept swinging in the air, right? Because obviously, look at the trajectory. It just kept swinging. And they took the Indian way of catch. Virat Kohli saw it. He's like, it's in the chest. Can't do anything. Didn't even react. He's just looking down. He's like, fuck this shit. We have to pay Rahane again now. These three, just keep following them. Right now, the average is 17.5, by the way. Because 0 for him, 35 for him. 17.5. I think he just hit a 4. Jinx hit a 4. He's striking at 200. He's like, can I get my slot back in Delhi? He's still in Delhi or what? Team Delhi, or they
Yeah,
dropped him. Okay.
I'm not sure.
But he used to
Not
play for
sure.
Delhi, right? Or I think
Yeah,
he
he
used to
was in
not
Delhi.
play for Delhi. He used to not play for Delhi.
And now see, this is so good now. For him, Pujara
What
got
a
out on
shot. Yeah.
0,
Perfect.
35 captain, and now he comes in
If he
and
makes
hits a
his
four.
favorite 40s, which he makes his favorite 40s, right?
He's
So
set. He's
that will
set
be
for the series,
he's
at
set for
least
the
for the
series.
series.
Yeah. I think right now Shreyas Iyer is in the temple. Small temple is like play out, 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 out. I mean, how do these people feel, right? It's like the opening slot is very much open. It was like Mayank was supposed to play, then Mayank got injured, and then he suddenly like Rahul comes in and takes over the spot, and now Mayank is out. And even if Mayank is performing well, you can't actually take away Rohit or Rahul. But then it's Rohit. It's test match. He's going to say, but Nikhil. I have never seen
Khelenge.
Rohit getting injured on the pitch. He always gets injured off the pitch. I do not
Off
know
the
what
pitch.
he does.
Yeah,
Because on the
yeah,
pitch, how do you get injured standing? He just stands, right? Doesn't do anything.
yeah.
So it's
Exactly,
very difficult
exactly.
to get injured. I think outside he just walks. Oh, I think whenever they do training, right, or drills, pulled my muscle, because probably guy doesn't take any ice baths, doesn't do anything. It's just like doesn't warm up,
Doesn't
doesn't
do any
warm
warm
down.
up. Just yeah.
Oh, it's
Like
a
the
fucking
random
horror.
guy, चल आज उठाते हैं, चल आज 20 किलो उठाते हैं. He pulls his hamstring.
Fools is hamstring. I'm pretty sure that's what happens. So 69 overs have been done, 69, which is all Indian people's favorite number, except nobody does it. So 69. What do you think Rahane is going to score today? But I think he's going to get dropped because now again those fuckers flopped.
40.
40. If
41.
he makes 40, he's done, man. Again, we'll have to tolerate him for 2022. If he makes a century, then forget about it. I think Shreyas Iyer should just retire from test
If he
matches.
makes a century, I'll tell you what will happen. If he makes a century, I think Kohli would be axed because anyway he has angered BCCI, and Rahane is the greatest captain since winning that series in Australia. So it will not be Rahane. It will be Kohli. He will be dropped.
Now, Kohli will be dropped from the captaincy. Rahane will find some ways to run out other people so the India can lose the match. He scores a century. Shreyas Iyer will retire from Test cricket, like formally right after, in the middle of the Test. He's like, "ये क्या हो रहा है?" He's like, "भाई हो गया मेरा." Because this guy will become captain till 2025 officially for the first time. Given till 2025, Ajinkya Rahane will be the captain. They'll do the Solskjaer on him. They'll give him a 3-year contract for nothing,
Right.
for no reason.
Right.
Then he'll just keep playing, and after that, he will probably make sure that India only plays in like the shittest places ever. And now we need to bowl better against this guy, man. We need to bowl better. Like this is not the kind of bowling you should have. Okay, we need to wrap this up. It's 57 minutes. Have we missed anything? Ajinkya Rahane is here again. Virat Kohli has, by his standards, failed to really capitalize on something because this was a fairly good pitch. Now he's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Rishabh Pant is standing. He's like, "Oh, I'll come in. I'll try to hit the ball with one hand, and I'll sweep shit, and I'll do shit. I don't know, man. Technique and all. वो क्या बताया था याद नहीं मेरे को. I'll just play." वीरेंद्र सहवाग से बात करता हूँ. So that would happen, but that was a good shot to start. Again, that's what Rahane does, right? The very first delivery is like forward defensive 4.
That
like,
he's
beautiful cover drive.
Limited capability. Those shots are there in his armory.
Yeah, I mean the pitch is not doing much. One thing is he doesn't get nervous. He's pretty chilled out and calm. Like calm, not chilled out, calm. He stays calm. I think his nerve control is good. Talent is just bang average. It's like the Mohammad Kaif. Mohammad Kaif is like, this guy plays so many matches. Why didn't I play so many matches? I was also this bad. I was a better fielder.
I was a better fielder. Yeah, I was not dropping catches.
He was a better. He used to be like the best fielder. When he came in with Yuvraj Singh, he used to be like always known, and the Yuvraj Singh became a worse fielder. So for fielding only, Mohammad Kaif used to play. He used to be like very, very good.
Oh, almost.
So.
Almost.
All right, so final prediction time. So you're predicting India to win, South Africa to win, a draw because of the rain, and what are you predicting for Australia? Any chance 1%, 2% for England to win and make it 2-1?
Ashes. I think they should just cancel. Like they should just say something like all the English players got COVID or something.
Omicron.
Because I mean, losing 3-0 already, and then you have to play for 2 matches again in Australia without any
and the
support
pink ball with the pink ball, which they have 9-0. Australia is 9-0 on pink ball, so they'll make it double figures with them.
So they should just say something like whatever we did right in England, like COVID ho gaya. So they should just go back And
No, at least we were winning. They were like, okay, it'll be less shameful.
yeah. So yeah,
Oh
I
my
think there's
God.
there's no chance. There is no chance. This South Africa, I think it'll be a good match. I believe because their batting is also decent. And as we always say that we should see when we should judge a pitch when both the teams have batted. So I don't have any faith in the lower order. So this could just be, it could just end up being 270 280 all out. So yeah, this match can really open up. So I believe it will be a good match. If I have to predict, I would still say that India will win it because it just feels the skill sets are at least in the bowling department, the skill sets are better in India's favor. So yeah,
Yeah, you
that's
fucker
my
was saying
prediction.
India will lose the first match, then win the next two matches. Now you changed, like you're a fucking chameleons, you people. But I definitely agree. The bowling looks solid. Thank God they did not get Ishan Sharma. Why is it
Oh,
always the fucking
yeah,
bowlers? It's just not Ashwin. It's the same with Australia. Also, people have been always saying that whenever in England also, it's like when the people are performing, the bowlers keep getting dropped. But it's a
yeah, because
batsman
the
supposed to be dropped.
yeah
First,
because all
that's why
the
they were saying
captains are
finally they're
batsmen.
dropping the batsman. Finally, they're dropping the batsman.
Because all the captains have been batsmen, right? The
Yeah, it's a
first
batsman. They're
time
like, "Ah, let's
that
now. All the man of the
first
match
time,
captain, all the man of the match batsmen. You make 7 runs, you're the
right.
man of the match. Full enough. Good enough. Good enough. You take 7 wickets. No, no, no. 7 runs and more than 7 wickets. No,
Eight
it's not.
century, you
But
make 1 century, you are in top 10 in the world.
yeah, you talk 10 break. You make 2 centuries, you're number one. You're better than Joe Root. Like, how did he become better than Joe Root? I mean, Joe Root's been playing
Jorut.
entire year, right? So how did
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Manas Labuschagne become the number one player when they've not even played a single match? I mean, Manas
They've
Labuschagne
just
probably
played
could
in
be a better
Australia.
batsman than
They've
him.
just from last one
No,
year,
they have
they've
not
just
played a
played in
single
Australia.
match in test matches. Like they've not played a
Yeah,
test match since
exactly. Yeah,
they lost to India in January in Brisbane. So how did he become the number one batsman and Joe Root has like 1,700 runs? So I don't understand what kind of fucking algorithm that whole fucking ICC actually uses, because this algorithm is fucked up. They need to throw it out of the window, just put it in the gutter. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, next thing we know, Ajinkya Rahane makes 47, he becomes like number 7.
yeah. Yeah. That can happen. I
And
think
Rahul
Kohli
makes
is
a
still
double hundred,
number two
becomes
or number
he goes
three.
like number 3.
Even
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Trust
Kohli is
me,
still in
Rahul will actually
top
break
five.
into top 10. Yeah, after
Yeah,
this.
he will. He should. He should be now
Unless
because
he's
he scored
pretty sure
century.
it's already there. I'm pretty sure it's already there. All right, so we've already gotten a prediction. I think Australia will win 100%, and I hope India actually gets out like a decent score, so it just makes a match of it. And I want the best team to win. I just don't want it to be a draw. But right now, it's reasonable to say we're leaning for India. But things can change very quickly. I hope some overs are bowled tomorrow, and after that, the next 3 days are not washed out. My main worry is a fucking draw. If they also get stuck in, make a lot of runs, that is my problem. I don't want these teams to make 400 odd. I want them to make 300
Right.
max, and then have this, battle in the fourth innings. That will be amazing. That's
Right.
what Test cricket is all about. All right. So on that note, take care. Let's see last ball. Ajinkya Rahane, please get out. Not all dreams come true, but he'll get out right after we're gone. Bastard.
Yeah.
The bastard. All right. Take care. Like and subscribe. We just got 2 more subscribers, although still nobody's watching. Bikram makes smaller clips. People watch smaller podcasts. People don't like 1 hour podcast. We don't have time. People don't have time anymore. All right. Take care. We'll see you next time, midweek, on the 3rd or 4th day, depending how Australia is thrashing England. Because we want to wait till 4th day because there might not be a 4th day. So it's me, Gav. That's my Evil Z Blunt. That's my name for my novels. And that's Ajinkya Rahane's ex-agent. Let's just call him agent, because if Ajinkya makes a 41, he will have his job for the next 2 years secure, so he can have more babies and pollute the government, pollute the country more, the world. I don't have any babies, not that I know of. All right. Take care. Bye now.
And
Bye,
Rane hit a
folks.
4 again. Oh my
Oh,
God, this is a
Jesus.
nightmare.
Kill me. Kill me. Kill me. Kill. 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 Stab. Stab.